Hi everybody, I am Moody Boo, and if you are new here, thank you so much for showing up. And if you are a returning person, subscriber, viewer, thank you very much. And if you enjoy this kind of content where it's not usually your typical review, and I don't just do lists, I do single perfume reviews. I try to introduce you guys to new perfume houses. I do comparisons, I'll do house reviews, I'll do fun little goofy videos like scenting my favorite movie villains and things like that. So I just like to bring a whole menagerie of reviews to you. So anyway, if you like that, then I hope you subscribe. And I try to post videos at least twice a week, usually on the weekends. So, and every once in a while I'll throw one in between. And as my channel grows, I will probably go ahead and start posting more often. So anyway, this one, anybody who watches me knows that I have some pet peeves. Yeah, a few. And one of them are lazy noses. I should do a list of my pet peeves in perfume. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a list of pet peeves in perfume. And one of those are lazy noses. What do I mean by lazy noses? I mean people that just, as soon as they test a perfume, and it's human nature, human mind fills in the gaps. So it's very natural to do this. But when you're doing reviews on Fragrantica or blogs or YouTube or Instagram or whatever, and you are having people watch you, you shouldn't be a lazy nose. That's all I'm saying. Your average person, absolutely, do your thing. But when you're a reviewer, it's different. And one of the things that I mean by lazy nose is that when they smell a perfume, they instantly target into a familiar perfume that they have smelled previously. And there are some perfumes that are just, and I should do a list, oh God, of perfumes that are constantly used as the template for whatever category they're in. I mean, like pineapple, Aventus, sweet tobaccos, tobacco vanille, you know, and of course, sweet woody perfumes. It's all about Baccarat Rouge 540. I can't tell you how many perfumes that I have tested, or a few that I own that I'm going to actually talk about today. That, oh, this is Baccarat Rouge 540. It's a clone. It's a clone. And there are clones out there. There are dupes out there. You know, I think Alexandria makes one. I bet you Dua makes one because it's a very, very popular perfume. People are very familiar with it. So it's very easy to associate another perfume that is similar in some stage, in some way, with Baccarat Rouge 540. But again, when you're a reviewer, you got to do the deep dives, and you have got to educate people that there are differences. But the three that I have are no clones, and many a folk have said that they are. So I want to talk about that. So I've been wearing these four for fur. There I go again, fur. I've been wearing these for, I don't know, it's like the last 3 or 4 days. As soon as I got home from work, I would spray all 4 of them on. I didn't even wear any perfume to work, anticipating that I was going to be doing this video, and I needed to wear the 4 of them together for a length of time so I could really detect the differences. And yes, I did a lot of closed eye sniffing because that has really helped me. I know, weird, right? But it has, so whatever. Okay, let me just tell you what the perfumes are that I'm talking about. The first one I'm going to talk about, I was really curious about because the notes looked really interesting. I had read some really good reviews about it, so I ordered a decant from Fragrance Net. And look, they didn't even frickin' put a label on it. It was like, and it came with another one of these that had a label I couldn't read. That's one thing about Fragrance Net is their labels if they put one on at all. So, but I knew what the other perfume was. It was Oud de Carthage by Baccarat. So I knew that was not Cloud by Ariana Grande. So anyway, that is one, is Cloud by Ariana Grande. And another one is, I just got them like 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to be talking about this house. Proad, cherry syrup. And then last but not least, Navitus Absolutio. So anyway, I want to talk about the differences. And I will talk about the similarities, but there are so many more differences than there are similarities. So let's get started. And to begin, let me remind you what the notes are for Baccarat Rouge 540. And I am going off of Fragrantica because I'm a tired, old, lazy bitch. And this is saffron, jasmine, amber wood, ambergris, fir resin, and cedar. And for me, this is a big fir resin, amber wood, saffron kind of beauty. Now, a lot of people think this is very gourmand and it's sweet. There's some sweetness there. I'm not gonna lie, there's some sweetness, but I wouldn't put it in that category. It's more of a softly sweet, woody kind of a fragrance to me, but it's much more woody than it is sweet. It really is a lovely perfume. So let's go on to Ariana. Ariana. Sounds like I'm saying areola. Ariana. Jeez. Ariana Grande's Cloud. So Cloud is lavender pear, bergamot, whipped cream, praline, coconut, vanilla, orchid, musk, and woody notes. And, you know, looking at those, there isn't a lot of similarity between Maison Francis Kurkdjian's and Ariana Grande's. As far as the note pyramid goes, there's not even saffron in here. But I was really deep sniffing Cloud. And I think what I figured out, for one thing, Cloud to me is sweeter. But, whoa. The dry down, okay, yeah, it's quite similar to Baccarat Rouge 540. The top is more gourmand. This is gourmand. This is not to me. So that's different. But the lavender, the whipped cream, the praline, the woody notes, and the coconut, I think that is what I'm detecting the most. The praline and the whipped cream go away pretty quickly. But the lavender sticks around. It just kind of merges with the sweetness from the other two. And then once that happens, it kind of tames down in the dry down. And that's when I get the coconut and the woody notes. I don't get a lot of musk, vanilla orchid, pear, bergamot. There's a hint of fruitiness, I guess, in the background, just being sprinkled on like fairy dust or something, but it's really not prominent. Neither is the musk to me, even in the deep dry down. It's all about that dry, woody kind of dry down, but mingling with the sweeter notes and stuff, it never gets to that generic, you know, woody base that you smell in a lot of celebrifrags and your more inexpensive perfumes a lot of times. But the coconut, I don't smell in Cloud. I think why it smells like this so much is because it's not It's not the meat of the coconut, it's the shell. And it's like it's a dry shell that's been baking in the sun or something. And it adds with the woody notes, which gives it to me the same kind of flavor as Baccarat Rouge 540. That deep dry down is kind of this lightly sweet, maybe a hint of fruity floral in the background, kind of dry woody perfume. And that's for most of the wearing, because the gourmandiness to me kind of tames down after half an hour. So, but these are the two that to me, out of all of the ones that I have, are the most similar, but they're still different. Ariana Grande's has a much more big journey. It changes quite a bit for me from top to bottom, where BR540 doesn't to me. It stays pretty linear. It's just that slightly sweet, woody kind of a perfume. It's beautifully done. It's really well blended. The saffron is delightful in Baccarat Rouge, but there is none. But I think it's the lavender and the coconut and the woody notes, that kind of combination that gives it that kind of almost ethereal dryness that's going on with both of them, because I think they're both very dry perfumes. I don't get a moist kind of wood note or anything with either one. They both perform about the same. Baccarat Rouge 540 is good. You know, it's like 8 hours. And so is Ariana Grande's. So here's my thing. If you don't want to spend the big bucks on Maison Francis Kurkdjian's 540, you really should check out Ariana Grande. If you can get past that tacky, frickin' ugly bottle, I would recommend transferring to a different bottle and just putting a label on it. That would look so much better. I mean, you know, I like kitsch and I like tack to a degree, but that bottle to me looks like it's a cutout from a newborn baby's wallpaper in their bedroom. That's what it looks like to me. I don't like it. But I do like the perfume. I do like it. I don't know that I'll buy a full bottle, but it's a wonderful, very inexpensive alternative to Baccarat Rouge, in my opinion. So let's talk about the next one and compare it. Proad's cherry syrup is cherries, rum, saffron, nutmeg, cinnamon, rose, jasmine, vanilla, tonka bean, ambroxan, sandalwood, oak, benzoin, patchouli, and cypress. Now, the obvious similarities is the sweet saffron. With Baccarat Rouge, you get the woody notes mostly, but the saffron blends so well with it. To me, it just adds to the dry, woody effect. But it's a beautiful saffron note. It's just really hard to pull out because it's so well blended at this one. This one is not, let me try that again. This one is not quite as well blended, but it's much sweeter to me. That cherry note is very pronounced. And at the very beginning for cherry syrup, it's a hint, just a hint, artificial. But that weird artificial cherry goes away within 5-10 minutes for me, and it becomes a much warmer. It does, cherry syrup does for cherry like Tom Ford's Lost Cherry does for cherry. It warms up. I should compare those two. I know, squirrel. I get distracted easily. I should compare cherry syrup and Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. That might be a better comparison, even though everybody says this is BR14. 14. It's been degraded. I have demoted you from 540 to 14. Congratulations. Anyway, it I think smells more like, potentially, parts of it might be similar in flavor to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry than it is similar to this. I can see that in the deep dry down, There is a little more similarity between the two, but this cherry stays throughout the entire wearing with cherry syrup, that cherry note. And this to me is not nearly as sweet. The bottles are kind of, you know, kind of similar, aren't they? But this is not supposed to be a clone, as I understand it. And it is not. If it's supposed to be a clone, it's not a very good one. The cherry and the saffron, the cinnamon, the rose, the jasmine, oh my God. And it warms up and those other notes start in. Oh, what? It's beautiful. And then in the deep dry down, that's when you get the woody notes and the benzoin. I don't get chipotle. What in the hell? Am I hungry? Is that kind of like chipotle? Chipotle. Patchouli. I don't get patchouli. I don't get a lot of ambroxan with cherry syrup. For me, it's mostly all about this beautiful, cherry. It's sweet, but not super sweet, woody, saffron, slightly floral, a hint of spice, kind of a perfume. And that is not how I would describe Baccarat Rouge. Not even close. See, it's just not as similar to me as Cloud is to BR 540. I think they're way, way different in so many stages of the wearing. And again, it's a lazy nose, I think, that puts them together. So, you know, it does look pretty similar, doesn't it? But cherries are red, so, and I'm going to spray both of them again because they're both in the deep dry down. You know, in Proad at the very top, it's like cherries and almonds to me. And I'm not sure what is bringing that on. It must be the nutmeg and maybe even a little of the tonka that's supposed to be a base note. But I'm telling you, it's like cherry almonds without smelling like Play-Doh. It doesn't smell like Play-Doh at all. Oh, it's so lovely. There's just this beautiful nuttiness to it. Oh, I really like Proad cherry syrup. And I will also tell you, Proad's outlast Baccarat Rouge. Sorry, truth. This one and the next one I'm going to talk about, because I've been wearing these once I get home from work. I spray them all on. Ariana Grande and Baccarat Rouge 540 are usually almost gone by the time I go to bed, which is like 7-8 hours after I get home. And cherry syrup, I still smelled it the next morning. Now it was very light, but it was present the next morning. So I bet you I got, I don't even know, 12 hours out of it or something. But you know, it wasn't projecting that whole time. But it was there where this one was gone. Bye-bye. Makes you think. And this is like, this is a 1 ounce bottle. And I think, I want to say it was like $50. And shipping ends up being like $45 or something as well. So I got more than one bottle of Proad because I wanted to check out the house. And oh, what a wonderful company it is. Wonderful company. We'll talk more about them later. But anyway, I would totally choose cherry syrup over Baccarat Rouge. Yep, every weekday and twice on Sundays, I would absolutely choose cherry syrup over Baccarat Rouge. So there you go.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell.
The last one that has been almost accusatory, smelling like Baccarat Rouge 540, and to me it smells the least like BR 540 of all the ones that I own, and that is Absolutio by Navitus. And actually, out of all of them, this is my favorite out of all of them as well. Oh, wow. So this is saffron, driftwood, cinnamon, toffee, green apple, musk, ambergris, almond, caramel, dark chocolate, and oak moss. Oh, man. So, like I was alluding to when I was talking about cherry syrup, this one I also smelled the next morning when I had applied all 4 of them on at the same time. This one was projecting all night and the next morning. One of the nights led into a work day, and I couldn't even wear a perfume to work because it was still projecting enough that that was my scent of the day at work. It was lighter, so I wasn't uncomfortable wearing it to work, but it was still projecting. Out of all of them, this is the one my husband adores. I have tried Baccarat Rouge 540 in front of him many times. Never even a twitch of a response. This one, first time wearing it, never initiated anything. He did and said, yeah, you should wear that one again. And I did, and I do. And again, there's a definite theme. That saffron note is a theme with every one of them except for Ariana Grande's. And there's a sweetness, a gourmand note in all of them, and dry woodiness. And I think that is the only similarities with any of these, is that combination. But there are so many different facets to each of these, even Cloud, that I think it's unfair and, again, lazy to say that they all smell like Kurkdjian's 540, because they do not. This one is my favorite of the 4. Cherry syrup's a close second, but this one, it's dry and woody. It's got that sweetness without being super sweet, and that hint of gourmand in the background. But when it dries down and you start getting that dark chocolate, and you get some of the caramel, and you get the hint of saltiness from the ambergris in there, this thing is so much more dynamic than 540. It has so many layers to it in comparison. Its performance is by far superior. You can get this perfume for under $200, and it would be really hard to find 540 for under $200 unless you could find it in some of the discount sites or something like that. I don't even know if it's there. It's one of those luxury perfumes, and a lot of times they're harder to find on those websites, or if they do put them there, they're sold out in a lickety-split. What is a lickety-split? That's such an old phrase, and I have no idea. But, it sounds a little X-rated if you ask me. Anyway, so I think it means quick. I've always used it as quick, but if you really break it down, it's kind of risque. Or it could be. Of course, in my mind, everything is risque. But again, back to Absolutio, a superior perfume to 540. And I mean, I'm not getting paid by Navitus or anything. I just happen to really appreciate the house. I appreciate what Stephen at Redolescence has started here. I love that he encompasses other reviewers to give their take on a perfume or two. There's a new one coming out that I am super excited to try, Crumb Imperial. Yep. And that's by a reviewer I don't know, but I will know here in very shortly because I'm going to check him out because it sounds really amazing. And then he's got another one. I think it was Champagne Royale or something. I don't know. Anyway, 2 new ones from Navitus that I'm super excited to try because you know how I feel about this and the Embrace and Virtus and Soir Exclusive and la 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 la. I should rank my Navitus perfumes. I know, there I go again. Squirrel. I should rank my Navitus perfumes. It would be super difficult because I thought the Embrace was my favorite. But again, we're back to Mel Brooks movies. Whichever one I watched last is my favorite. And it's kind of like that. Whichever one I wore last is my favorite. So I may have to do that. Because I've even got a couple of Navitus I haven't even reviewed yet. Yeah, I should just do that. So anyway, I find Absolutio to just be a better perfume. And you know, a lot of times Navitus will have specials going on to where, you know, like I think they had a discount on Father's Day, and they'll have discounts periodically where you can get like 20, 30, sometimes they have crazy amounts of percentages off of their perfumes. Because I believe I bought this one for like $135, $140, and it's usually $195. So yeah, you can get some really good deals on Navitus's website as well. So again, thank you so much for being here. I just can't even tell you how much I appreciate it. And don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell and comment if you want. If you don't, it's all good. I still love you. And use your own nose. And don't be a lazy nose. Peace.